Okay, so make.com has just released AI agents, and in this video I'm going to show you step by step how you can build your own agent, and I'm going to leave a template below so you can download my one that I build in this video. But let's get straight into it. So if you come over to your make.com, you will notice that there is a new section over here in the sidebar called AI agents, and this is where we are going to build our AI agent. To build an agent, you're going to come up here to the top right corner and press create an agent, and you'll be able to connect it to one of the following connections. If you don't have any connections, then you'll come up here and click add, and this is basically going to be the AI model or the LLM that you're going to use to run the agent. So it could be Claude, it could be ChatGPT, it could be Grok. It could be any of the LLMs that are compatible with AI agents. Obviously, they have to have some reasoning capability to connect it to an AI agent. So you'll come up here and you'll add one of these connections. So you have OpenAI, Mistral, Grok, Gemini, Cohere, Anthropic, XAI, and obviously OpenAI. So these are the compatible providers that you can use. I think just based on the best LLMs out now for reasoning, in my personal opinion, it would be Claude. And that's what we're going to go ahead and use today. For the agent name, you're going to add something in that kind of reflects what the AI agent is actually doing. So for example, if you're building a gym assistant, you would name this AI agent gym assistant. But in this video, we're going to create an AI agent that's able to answer a real estate agent's emails, book them in for appointments, respond to users about their inquiries about property viewings, etc. So we're going to call this agent a real estate email assistant. And then for the model, we're going to use Claude 3.7 Sonnet, and then this is your system prompt. Now, as you can see down here, it kind of gives you a tip of what you should do. It says here, define your agent's core purpose and behavior, including any guidelines or constraints that it should always follow. Example, you are a customer service agent whose primary goal is to help customers with their inquiries and solve issues quickly. Always respond with a friendly and empathetic tone. This is what we're actually going to use because that is essentially the agent that we're going to build today. So I'm going to put in here, you are a customer service agent. I'm going to change this and I'm going to say you are a real estate email assistant. So I'm going to copy this, bring it down here and say you are a real estate email assistant whose primary goal is to help customers with their inquiries and resolve issues quickly. Always respond with a friendly and empathetic tone. And then we'll also put in here, and remember never to make anything up and always use the tools you have to answer questions. If you don't know the answer, then let the user know you are working on it and we'll get back to them. Okay, so that is our system prompt done. So the system prompt, in a sense, is kind of the broader, is kind of like a broader aspect as to what the agent is doing. So for example, if you were building a gym personal assistant, you wouldn't put in all the nitty gritty like, this is how much you should bench, or these are the type of exercises you should do. You're kind of giving it its personality in this system prompt. So you would say something like, you are a gym personal assistant that helps users find the best exercises to do and best diets to follow. So you kind of keep it on a broader scale rather than getting into the nitty gritty in this part of the prompt. So you can see here for our real estate email assistant, we say you are a real estate email assistant whose primary goal is to help customers with their inquiries and resolve issues quickly. Always respond with a friendly and empathetic tone. And remember never to make anything up and always use the tools you have to answer questions. If you don't know the answer, then let the user know that you're working on it and we'll get back to them soon. So that is our AI agent, the base of our AI agent built. Now for this AI agent, in the state that it's in currently, it's completely useless. We need to create tools down here, as you can see, system tools, and we can add system tools to this agent. So right now, this AI agent is able to do absolutely nothing because it's not connected to anything. What we need to do now is we need to create a scenario where we can add the AI agent into. So I'm going to come over to my scenarios, and I'm going to click up here to create a new scenario. And because this AI agent is working on our emails, the first module I'm going to have is the email, watch emails module. And to set this up, we need to connect it to our emails. So it's grabbing all of the new emails that is coming in. So what we're going to do here is obviously add the email by signing in. And then we're going to choose the folder that we want to use. Obviously going to use all mail. And then the filter type, simple filter, and the criteria, again, all emails. Now the next module we're going to use is that AI agent that we just created. So in here, I'm going to search in make. And you can see down here we get this new module, which is make AI agent. I'm going to select that and it's going to run an agent. So what we're essentially doing is whenever a new email comes in, pass it over to the AI agent and let the AI agent handle it from there. So in here, you can see in the new make AI agent module, you have the chance to choose your agent. Our agent is the real estate email assistant. So I'm going to select that one. And now this agent is connected to that module. Now, what we need to do to make this agent useful or to make this agent be able to do anything is we need to add tools to it. What tools are basically little sub scenarios or child scenarios in which the agent can use to answer these inquiries. As of now, the AI agent is just connected to Claude. So if we sent over a message via email and the first Gmail module picked it up and sent it over to the AI agent, it would essentially be like copy and pasting the email into Claude and asking Claude to answer that email. As we know, Claude doesn't have access to our real estate database or to our calendar, so it wouldn't be able to find free slots, it wouldn't be able to find properties available or anything to do with that. It would just make up an answer and respond back. So to make it be able to answer our property database or to make it be able to answer our Google Calendar, we're going to add that in here as a tool in which the AI agent can access. So what we need to do now before we carry on is we need to create two tools and then we're going to add them in here to this section called the additional tools. So I'm going to go over to a new make scenario. In this scenario, I'm going to make it so the AI agent can search our Google Calendar and find free slots. So in order to do that, the first thing I need to do is search up the Google Calendar module and we're going to select that. Then we are going to go down to the bottom and use the get free and busy information. If I click that, then we have a minimum time and a maximum time. What this is basically the time period in which we want to find the free and busy slots. So let's say, for example, I wanted to find out if we had any available slots tomorrow at 4 or 5 p.m. The minimum time we would put in here would be 4 and the maximum time we would put in would be 5. And then this module would return back the free slots in between 4 and 5 p.m. For our AI agent, the AI agent has to be able to pass in the times in which we need to find free times for. So you can imagine somebody might send an email saying, hey, can I view this property tomorrow at 6 p.m. The AI agent has to be able to send over the times that we're looking for free slots for over to this module. And in order to do that, we're going to come down here and we're going to select scenario inputs and outputs. And this is going to give the AI agent some information on stuff we need for this module to work. So for example, in the input section, we're going to create two inputs. We need a start time and an end time because that's what this Google Calendar module needs to run. So what we're going to do here is we're going to click add item and we're going to call this start time. And in here, as we explained, this is the start time of the period in which we are looking for free calendar slots for, and this is going to be text, and we don't need a default value. Then we're going to create another item which is called end time, and we're going to say this is, we're going to copy actually this one up here and paste it in here, and we're going to change one thing and say this is the end time of the period. This is the end time of the period in which we are looking for free calendar slots for. Now, if we save this, we come back up here to our Google Calendar, find free and busy time. And we come over here to this section, which is, as you can see over here with the two brackets, you can see we now have two inputs. So we have the start time and end time. So we're going to select the start time for the minimum time, and we're going to select the end time for the maximum time. Now we need to connect a calendar in which we are looking for the start and end time from. So I'm going to select my calendar, which is this one here, and I'm going to save that. Now what the AI agent is going to do is when it tries to run this module, it's going to know as an input we need a start time and an end time in which we need to find free slots for. So before this agent runs, it's always going to know these are the details we need in order to give you what you want. Now the next module we're going to need is a scenarios module, which is also another new module which came out with the AI agent, and it's based to help the AI agents run. So if we search in here scenarios and we press return and output, what this is going to do is this is going to return whatever Google Calendar comes back with. So if Google Calendar comes back with, okay, we have free times at 4 to 5 p.m., then it's going to return the output back over to the AI agent and say, here are the free times. So in this scenario, you can see here missing scenario outputs. To send data back to parent scenario, which is our AI agent, add scenario outputs in the sub scenario and then return here to fill them in. Okay, so what it's telling us here is we need to come back over here and we need to add a scenario output. In this scenario outputs, this is going to be called free underscore busy times. As you can see, we already have it here. And then we are going to say in here, these are the busy times returned by the Google Calendar module for a specific period in time, for a specific time / date period. And we're going to then save that. But before we save that, we need to change this down here. Now this is where we get a little bit technical, so just bear with me as I try to make this as simple as possible. In here, instead of text, we need something called an array. And what an array is basically means is I'm going to return to you a list of things. So an array basically means a list. Think of it like maybe a shopping list. You have oranges, bananas, apples, and blueberries. An array means this is the list that we're going to use. So we're going to select array, and after array, we're going to select collection. Then after we have that, we can press save. And the reason we have to change it to an array is because if I test this Google Calendar module right now and I say we are looking for the start time to be the 11th and the end time to be the 12th. So we're looking for free / busy times in between these two times. If I press OK, you can see what Google Calendar returns is all of the busy times, and it gives us a list of busy times. So you can see here, there's a busy time between the 11th at 10 to 12. We have a busy time between on the 13th of April at 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. And it gives us basically, as you can see here, a list of free and busy times. And that's what you would call an array. And inside the array is something called a collection. So you can see here we have a list, and then inside them we have a collection. So there's more than one piece of data. It's a collection of data is what it's called. That's why we selected array collection. As we've seen, this module needed a scenario output, which we have done. We've given it a scenario output, and it's going to return the free and busy times in which we have in the calendar. And now we can give it the free and busy times that we have. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to select map. And then down here, I'm going to open up my calendar and I'm going to give it this whole array, this whole list as we went through. Okay, so now after we give this scenario output the access to all of the free and busy time slots, we're going to come back over here to where it says AI agent, and in here we're going to give it that scenario. So up here where it says add tools, we're going to click add tools and we're going to search for that scenario. Two things we need to do before we give the AI agent access to this module is we need to change the scheduling times. Now this needs to be set to on demand, or in some cases instant. Wherever it says instant, change it to that, but if it doesn't have instant, change it to on demand and press save, and we will activate this scenario. And what this basically means is as soon as this module receives data, then it will run. Whereas if we had kept it on run every day, or it's scheduling it to only run at them certain times, but we need it to run whenever the AI agent needs it. So that's why we press it to on demand. The second thing we need to do before we leave this scenario is we need to give this a name. So I just called it up here, get free and busy times. And I'm going to save that. And then if I come back out here and we save this AI agent that we've just built, and we come over to our AI agents, real estate assistant, and we want to add a system tool. In the system tool, I'm going to search for get free and busy times, and I'm going to add a description. What this description is basically telling the AI agent when to use this tool, or what this tool is, and what this tool will return. So in this, I'm going to say it's basically giving the AI agent context of this tool, and I'm going to say this is the tool to use whenever we need to check availability in a calendar. This tool needs a start and end time to find availability between, and it will return all of the busy slots in between the inputted start and end times you give it. Okay, so this should be good enough to give the AI agent, and it will have enough context to know when to use the get free and busy time. So I'm going to save that, and now we can select this and we can press add this. Now our AI agent has access to the get free and busy times. So if I come back out here to the scenario that we will save this, and if I come over here to the AI agent that we were just working on, if we go into this agent now, we should see up here at agent level tools, it has access to the get free and busy times. So what we're going to do now is we're going to give this agent the prompt. So what this agent is going to do, like I said at the start of this video, it's going to answer all emails that a real estate agent may receive. So we're going to give this the instructions on how to handle those emails. Okay, so I've already pre-written a prompt, so I'm going to paste it in here. But to go through what we've prompted this agent, we can see here, I tell this agent, respond to a user in a kind and professional way, always be personalized to what their inquiry includes, and answer using data that you can source with your tools. If a user is asking about details of a property, like when is the viewing, what is the management cost, etc., then use the provided tool to find data on that property. Then we give it access to the tools that it has, which is the find property details, which we haven't built yet. And it has access to the find busy slots in my calendar tool also. That's the one that we've just built. We still need to build the find property details. Then we give it the output rules, and we say always send emails in HTML format for better readability. Always address users by their name and sign off with regards follow. Always use the find property details when you need to get real-time information on a property. And remember, today's date and time is 2 brackets now, 2 closing brackets. And what this now sign does is basically gives the agent the current time as of now. So whenever it uses this prompt, it will always have the time of when it's using this prompt. The reason we have to do that is because in Claude, which is the LLM that we're using, it has a time which is set in like 2023. So if we were to say find times next week, it would find times in 2023. That's why we need to give the agent the time which is now. Okay, so if we go back up here, we now need to create a tool like we just did for the get free and busy times. We need to create a tool which is find property details. And what this tool is, it's going to be connected to our Airtable base, which has all of our property details like this. So whenever a user asks a question like what is the price of this property, or how many bedrooms does this property have, then the AI agent will search through this base, return the details on the property, and then create the email to respond to the user. So what we need to do to create the find property details is we need to come back out here and we need to create a new scenario. And we're going to call this scenario what we have it called in the prompt, which is find property details. I'm going to go back out here and I'm going to name this find property details, and we're going to select Airtable. in Airtable, we're going to use the search records. And then once again, obviously, you're going to have to connect your Airtable by just doing the basic connection. And then for the base we're going to use, we have to select this base, which is the real estate email responder base. And this is just telling it which sheet basically to use to find the property data. So if I search in here, real estate email responder, and then for the table, it's going to be the properties. So this is going to be all of the properties. And then for here, we'll just press select all. And then for the formula, we will use this formula. What this is basically whenever this address is equal to whatever is in here. So whatever we put in here. So obviously we need to create something to put in here. And that's when we're going to select a new scenario. But whenever you're making this formula, you have to make sure this text here, so you can see we have address, it has to be spelled the exact same as the one in your Airtable base. So what this is saying basically is whenever this address, so basically this table, the column in the table address, whenever that is equal to the one that we are searching for, which we're going to create now. So in the inputs, we're going to create an input. And this is going to be the address of the property we are searching for. So a user might ask a question like, when is the viewing times for 123 Sesame Street? In order to find that, we need to search these records and we need to search with the address 123 Sesame Street. So for scenario inputs, we're going to add that into it. So what we're going to call this is search address, and we're going to say this is the address we are searching for up to date property. This is the address we are searching for up to date information / data on. Type is going to be text, and is this required? Yes, it is, because we can't run this module without that. We're going to press save on this, and then if we come back up here and we put in here the address that we're searching for, which is going to be over here again in this section, and then you can see here we have search address. So what the agent is going to do whenever it receives an email and somebody might say, hey, when is how many bedrooms does 123 Sesame Street have? The agent is going to pick up on 123 Sesame Street. It's going to trigger this module, the search records module, and it's going to put in 123 Sesame Street, because we have here a scenario input for this module to run is we need the address. So we press save on this. We use again another scenarios module, which we need to return an output. And in order to return the output again, we need a scenarios output. So here we're going to select this and we're going to call this property data, and this is the returned data from the search module, which returns all details we have on a property. Again, this is required, and we're going to press save. And what this is basically going to be is whenever this has to output something, it's going to output all of the details that we have in this table. So for this, we're going to have address equals the address, and price equals price, and so on. So you would just fill this in with all of the details that you have. Like you can see here, price, status, offers, viewing times, buying status, type, bedrooms, bathrooms, all of these details. We'll press save, and now this scenario is going to return back to the agent everything it found in the search. Just to clarify, all of these details that I just put in here is all of the headers in this row. So you can see here, whenever it searches for an address, so let's say we have to search for 12 Sesame Street, it's going to return back all of these rows, like the price, status, offers, viewings, bidding status, etc. And that is what all of this information is. So it's going to return all of that back whenever it finds something. So for example, if I want to test this module to see if it's going to return anything, I can press run this module. I will come over here and I will copy this address, which is 12 Sesame Street. I'll bring it over here and we'll ask this Airtable module to search for this address. And if we search for this address, then you can see it returns all of the details. All of the details on this property, which is obviously over here, and all of these details. So if we go back here, what we are feeding into this output, which is the property data, which we set up in here, the scenario outputs. We're feeding it basically all of the details that it gets from that row of the property that we are searching for. So if we press save on this, again, press save. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is obviously select the name, which we have up here, find property detail. When we come back out here, we're going to go over to the agent that we're working on, and we're going to add a new tool, which is able to find all of the details. So if I search in here, find property details 1, 2, 3, we need to add a description. Again, this is the description that we're going to basically give to the AI agent so it knows when to use this. And we're going to say, use this tool whenever you need to search for up-to-date details on a property that a user is inquiring about. So now the agent is going to know, okay, so whenever a user is inquiring about the property, I'm going to use this scenario. So if I now press this and I press add, now the agent has two tools at its use. So you can see we have the get free and busy times, and we have the find property details. Now our agent is basically ready to use. So you can see in the prompt, we give it the tools that it has. So it's find property details, and we're basically telling it again when to use this. So you can see this is a tool that you can use when you want to find property details on a property, typically used when the message in the email is something to do with the property details, getting an update, etc. This is the database search scenario that stores all of our properties. So when a user asks a question about this property, you should refer to this tool to get the most up-to-date information. So we've basically told the AI agent, whenever a user asks about a property, use this tool so we can get up-to-date information. Then obviously we have the find busy slots, which is this tool should always be used when you want to find slots in which a user can book an appointment / viewing. This tool returns all of the busy slots in the given time and date period. Then again, we have the output rules, which is just output the email in HTML format, always address the user by the name, and so on. So this agent is basically ready to use. Now what we need to add here, and the last part of this, is we need to add a send email. So we're going to add this email and the email content. So the email is basically who we send an email to, and it's going to be from the person who initially inquired. And in here you can see we have senders, and we're going to select sender email address. So we're basically returning a response to the person that initially inquired. Then the subject, we will just press response to your inquiry, and then the content is going to be whatever the AI agent outputs. So we're going to select response. We're going to save that. We can now test this agent to see if it's working. As we can see up here, we obviously have access to the get free and busy times. So what I'm going to do is send an email over to where this email account, or to where this email agent is set up on. So I'm going to go into my emails, and I'll just send an email to myself asking about one of the properties that we have available. Let's ask about this property, and then maybe let's ask, we'll ask how many bedrooms, which is a 2-bedroom. So it should respond back with this is a 2-bedroom property. So if we come back over to my emails and we send it to wherever the email agent is set up on, and we put in inquiry, and then let's say how many bedrooms does the property that we're asking about have, and we will send that over. Now if we come back over here and we run our agent, we just select that email. Now obviously you would schedule this watch emails module to run continuously, so whenever a new email come in, it would run automatically. But for this scenario, I will just select the email that we're looking for. So I'll select this email and we will press run. Now because we asked about a property, this email is going to come in, it's going to send it over to the email agent. The email agent is going to process it, figure out what the user is asking. Then it's going to notice that the user is asking about a property. So it's going to use the search records tool in which it has access to. It's going to search the Airtable records, return the details about that property, and then it should send an email back to me telling me exactly how many bedrooms this property has. You can see that it's taking a while to answer this. Then it's crafting an email and responding back. And if I come over here to my emails, you can see here it says response to your inquiry. Thank you for inquiring about 12 Sesame Street. I'm pleased to inform you that this property has 2 bedrooms. which is correct. It's a lovely terrace property currently available for $2,650 a month, and it includes this little property card about all of the details about the property. Now if we come back over to Make, we can kind of see how this scenario worked in the background. So you can see here it ran this scenario, and in the search address, so you can see here address equals, the AI agent then fed in this address that we're searching for. It found the details on this property, which is all of this, and then this return output returned all of the details, which is property data, which we set in scenario output. It returned all of the details on this property and gave it back to the agent. Okay, so now that we know it's able to search for property data, let's check and see if it's able to search our calendar to find free and busy time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send an email again over to where the email agent is set up on, and I'm going to ask it, can I view, or is there any appointments slots free for Monday, the 14th of April 2025, and we'll send that over to the agent. Now the agent should be able to run the get free and busy times tool, which is going to return all the busy times on that date, and then it should be able to respond back via email telling us when there is free and busy time slots. So if we come back in here, we again run the agent on that email, and now what it's going to do is it's going to bring the email in, give it to the AI agent. The AI agent is going to detect that this person is trying to book a viewing. It's then going to trigger that get free and busy times tool. That get free and busy times tool is going to search for the date that the AI agent has given it in the inputs. So the AI agent is going to see that the person is looking for a time on Monday, so it's going to select a start time on Monday and an end time. Then that module is going to run, find all the free and busy time slots. It's going to give it back to the agent, and then the agent is going to respond as we've seen just there. Okay, so if we come over to the email, we can now see what it responded back with. So you can see in here, this is the email, and it says, thank you for your interest in an appointment on Monday. I'd be happy to find available slots. I currently have the slots available, and then it gives us some times in which we have available. So that's basically the full AI agent built. I'll leave all of these templates, so the AI agent template, the get available slots, and the find property data, I will leave all of them in the first link in the description, so you can download them. You won't have to build them, you'll just have to connect your accounts up. But that's basically the full gist, or the full breakdown of the new AI agent that has been released in make.com. If you like the video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe below.